We don't have that type of energy nowadays. I mean, that wasn't even crazy what he was doing. Raw power and fun and the energy that was there. It's just incredible to try to transform myself into these, live shows when I see them online sometimes or on the TV. Yes, there's energy nowadays, but it just seems different. It's just less genuine. It's more of performances instead of just raw love for music and just belting it out and having the whole crowd. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy what you see. I try to imagine it. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be watching and reacting to and listening to top 10 classic British bands to crack the US. So these are going to be bands, I'm assuming, like, well, you see here, Def Leppard, Black Sabbath, you have Led Zeppelin, The Cure, The Who, so on and so forth. There's so many. British bands, musicians, artists have always been on the tops of the list, and they are the best of the best and have been for quite some time. For the countless bands that did not crack into the US, this list will be fun to watch and even see. I don't know where a lot of these bands even come from, and I have mixed up a lot in the past of, I think this band, fill in the blank, has been from the US. And more often than not, almost every time, they're British. Almost every time. So let's jump into this. Let's see what the top bands are, the top 10 classic British bands to crack the US, and let me know what you think about this. Because I know a lot of these bands, all of these bands have massively influenced artists, musicians all around the world, including so many here. So let's see how this goes, starting with Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me. In the Name of Love. 3, 2, 1.
These icons never go out of style. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 classic British bands to crack the US.
Sing along, everyone.
For this
Sing along.
list, we'll be ranking the most prominent, popular, and influential British bands to cross over into the American market.
Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin.
We'll be considering groups which achieved success prior to the 1990s for this list, while also omitting artists known primarily for their solo work.
Elton John, how could anyone forget?
Such as Elton John and David Bowie.
Already such a heavy-hitting list. Everyone knows these people. It's crazy. It's incredible. But for their size, I think it's incredibly impressive how many bands, how many huge hits, how many bands they've produced. And like they said in the beginning of the video, they are definitely here to stay. They're just, classics at this point. They will always be around. They're not going anywhere.
Number 10, The Clash. There's a bit of an argument as to who exactly were the first punk rock band, but there's no denying the impact of The Clash upon groups in America as well as at home. This was due to a wide variety of influences The Clash brought to their sound. It wasn't always about aggression when it came to these Londoners, as songwriters Mick Jones and Joe Strummer sought inspiration from genres as diverse as reggae, dub, and ska. Then there was Combat Rock, the 1982 album which went double platinum in the US.
Yes, absolutely.
And features such hit singles as Rock the Casbah and Should I Stay or Should I Go, and the rest, as they say, was history.
Should I stay or should I go now?
Number 9, The Cure.
Yes.
Formed in West Sussex way back in 1976, The Cure were one of the earliest pioneers of goth rock and are still going strong 40 years later. This is thanks largely to the band's rabid fanbase, who sell out the band's 3-hour-plus shows whenever the group goes on tour. It was the 1989 album Disintegration.
I grew up with alternative rock, and I always hear Love Song by The Cure on my stations. Alt rock is what I grew up on. But in short, yes, love The Cure. Love The Cure.
Which served as the band's commercial crossroads, ushering them firmly into the American mainstream with such hit singles as Love Song and Pictures of You. They've continued
Great.
to straddle the line between morose and upbeat pop, ensuring a little cure for everyone.
Cheesy, but I like it. Here we go. Oh yeah.
Number 8, Queen.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday.
There was no band, British or otherwise, past or present, quite like Queen, and no frontman possessing the same level of charisma as Freddie Mercury.
No.
Perhaps this is why these London legends managed to cross over so firmly into America. Audiences around the world gravitated towards the band's quirky, layered rock orchestrations, while Mercury's superstar stage presence and impassioned vocals raised the bar for frontmen everywhere. Not even Mercury's 1991 death could stop Queen from entering the upper echelon of classic rock icons, thanks to such huge hits as Bohemian Rhapsody,
I see a little silhouette of a man.
Somebody to
So
Love,
good.
Somebody.
and The Show Must Go On.
Queen is so fantastic because it's so unique. It's so different from. I don't even know if you could pinpoint what genre he's in, that his music is in. I mean, I'm sure there is a genre, but he weaves so many different genres in and out of each other in his songs. He orchestrates it so well. He has the chorus. Seems like he has a lot of classical kind of weaved in as well. I'd love to know the backstory of his musical journey, of maybe he did grow up on classical and then he started learning about, more of the rock and roll at the time, and kind of blended all of his favorites together. But it's just so unique, and he brings you on this emotional journey with these long songs, and you really feel it. You feel what he was going for. You feel something, and there are countless reasons why Queen will always remain at the top. This is just one of thousands of reasons why. Who hasn't heard of Queen? I mean, everyone's heard of them.
Number 7, The Police.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light.
Sometimes the best sort of creativity can arise from the worst sort of tension. This phrase could describe in part the lightning in a bottle magic which was The Police, as the London-based group's relationship came to be known as a notoriously bitter one. Still, these stressful working conditions
Great.
didn't stop bassist/vocalist Sting, guitarist Andy Summers, and drummer Stuart Copeland from creating some of the most unique pop music of the 1980s. The talents of all three men combined in a magical way, delivering thoughtful and intelligent tunes featuring influences from around the world of pop, rock, reggae, and jazz.
Multiple things there. That was one of those bands, I know you could hate me, that I thought were Americans at first. When I was younger, I just thought quite a few of these were American. It's just like, you can't really hear an English accent when people sing, or any accent really. I know there's like videos on this as to why, but it's so hard to tell. Everyone just sounds, I don't know if I want to say American, but it all kind of just blends together. Like, I cannot tell when someone's singing from Australia generally, or the UK, from somewhere in the UK, South Africa, well, maybe there, Canada, the US. It all just sounds, roughly the same when they're singing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but I think that's why I had trouble knowing where bands were from. A lot of times, The Police was one of them. And secondly, I thought that last song was Sting, just purely Sting later on. Multiple wrong things happening. All right, The Who. Definitely heard of them.
Number 6, The Who.
You think we look pretty good together?
Diversity, eccentricity, and electricity were par for the course of this progressive group, who thought nothing of writing expansive rock operas alongside short riff rock anthems. Singer Roger Daltrey seemed cut from the stone as the prototypical hard rock frontman, while guitarist and songwriter Pete Townsend was all windmilling energy.
Dizzy in the head.
The Who seem to write tunes tailor-made for overseas crossover potential, as proven by the success of radio mainstays Who Are You?, I Can't Explain, Substitute, and My Generation.
We don't have that type of energy nowadays. I mean, that wasn't even crazy what he was doing. I mean, I'm a 90s baby, so I don't really understand all of this. I can't put myself in your shoes for people that have experienced this and the raw power and fun and the energy that was there, that are at these concerts, in these stadiums. It's just incredible to try to transform myself into these, live shows when I see them online sometimes or on the TV. Yes, there's energy nowadays, but it just seems different. It's just, I don't know, less genuine. It's more of performances instead of just raw love for music and just belting it out and having the whole crowd. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy what you see. I try to imagine it. So if you experienced it, please tell me what it's like. What was your favorite concert that you ever have been to? That's a good one. Because I know my mom saw the Beatles here in LA in like the Hollywood Bowl. She loved that when she was really young. I saw Black Sabbath and a couple other bands that I'll have to remember. But that's a good question. What was your favorite concert? Why? Who'd you see? Share the experience with me. Paint a picture.
Number 5, Black Sabbath.
That's crazy. I did not know that they were next. That's weird. I just said I saw Black Sabbath. Or Ozzy Osbourne.
Wind, rain, and that ominous church bell. These were the sounds which heralded Black Sabbath's 1970 self-titled debut, a crushing record which signified the onset of heavy metal into the public consciousness.
Good.
There were few bands performing over-amplified blues as pounding as Sabbath during this time, and it wasn't only British audiences that started paying attention.
No way, no.
Subsequent LPs such as Paranoid, Master of Reality, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath would garner the Birmingham
Dang.
lads a devout following in the States, one which would continue through multiple lineup shifts and change trends to ensure Black Sabbath certified icon status.
I don't know if I've ever heard that last song for one. I love Crazy Train, if that's the title of it. Crazy Train really puts you in a mood. Now I just want to know everyone's favorite songs by these bands. Too many questions.
Number 4, Pink Floyd.
Of course.
Fans searching for the hazy roots of psychedelic rock need look no further than the discography of these London legends who pioneered the style during the late 60s before perfecting it in the 1970s. Pink Floyd did it all, from loud and noisy to smooth, mellow, and emotional. The group suffered a couple of lineup changes, but have remained relevant throughout the years, especially in America, where such albums as The Wall and Dark Side of the Moon saw Floyd's music reach a larger international audience than ever before.
I've seen that image so many times growing up. This album cover right here. I've seen that so many times, and honestly, we might have a record of it in my house. There's actually a record player. I don't even know if you could see it. It's down there, though. We still have this from, I don't know, 70s. And we have a stack of these records that are actually right behind the camera. I should pull one out. Okay. Perfect. All right, here we are. Beatles on top. Beatles on top. I don't even need to hear anything. I don't know why I put these back in. Let's see. Oh, there's like a small one. So I know they're all like called something track. Oh, it's like blurring out. It's like, I know it's wrong, but 16 track or 32 track. I don't know much about records. I was a CD baby and VHS. Duran Duran, that's what it is. I'm going off topic, so massively off topic. But I feel like we have a Pink Floyd one. Maybe this could be a video. I just go through all of my records that aren't mine, that are my parents'. I guess the music's good in that. I saw it in freshman year of high school. The Police? Oh yeah, look at that. There we go, The Police. I don't know if you could hear me well. It's a good one. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the album sucks. Oh, look at this. Another Police. More Police. Yeah, maybe. I feel like we have more, but we have MJ. Being a smooth criminal. All right. Well, I guess I don't have. I think that we have more somewhere. All right, and on with the video. Sorry about that. Got a little distracted there.
Number 3, Led Zeppelin.
The energy, I'm telling you, the energy.
Just as Black Sabbath pioneered heavy metal in the 1970s, so too did their contemporaries Led Zeppelin overhaul blues into something similarly innovative. Although these London-based legends had a slightly more sensitive side than Sabbath, embracing diverse folk and psychedelic influences, that didn't stop Zeppelin from crossing over big time in America.
No.
Jimmy
Huge here.
Page's superb riffing, Robert Plant's epic wail, and the incredible rhythm section of John Bonham and John Paul Jones were second to none during their day, and in the process crafted some of the most enduring rock anthems of all time. Maybe it's their raunchy, bluesy songwriting, or perhaps it's that stage magic which occurs between Stones frontman Mick Jagger and guitarist Keith Richards.
Yeah, I mean, how can you beat that?
Whatever the reason, there's no denying that this London rock institution has made commercial waves all over the world, America most definitely included. For many, it's the Rolling Stones that define rock and roll at its purest, most distilled essence, so who are we to argue? Before we name our number 1 pick, here are a few honourable mentions.
You said no strings could secure you.
I thought they were American. Oof.
Number 1, The Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
If you have ever dabbled into music post-1960, it is practically a given that you were influenced somehow by The Beatles. John, Paul, George and Ringo dared to raise and then smash the bar when it came to creative songwriting and unique arrangements.
It's beautiful. Beautiful
Turning pop
songwriting.
music on its head with a genius which has rarely been equaled.
All the lonely people, where do they all come from?
British Invasion was just that when Beatles led an influx of English talent towards American shores. An incredible crossing over of talent whose legacy continues to be felt by artists around the world to this day.
Trivia question. How many times is Hey Jude said in Hey Jude? I've got that when I was on a cruise somewhere where we were doing trivia, and that was one of the questions. Let me know what you think. How many times is Hey Jude said in Hey Jude?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo.
Do you agree with their clips? That was fantastic. I want to do more, I guess, pop culture references or videos. But let me know what you think. Do you agree with this list? I mean, of course, they have to choose the Beatles. Like, look up photos of the Beatles coming to the US, and maybe it was like the first time they came to the US to tour. Anarchy everywhere, screaming everywhere. They quite probably were the biggest hit ever in the US. I don't even know who would even come close to the Beatles. At least me, judging from pictures and videos that I've seen of the Beatles. It was like a tsunami of Beatles over here. My dad's best friend worked for a city here, a large city here with quite a few stadiums in it, and they were going to host the Beatles, have the Beatles in one of the stadiums here, and he was kind of doing like the contract and setting it all up. He was really high up there in the city. He flew to New York to meet Paul McCartney, and I don't know who it was, his agent, but he like went to the place that he was staying, just kind of like a one-on-one conversation with, I guess maybe one-on-two with someone else, with Paul McCartney, with him, kind of discussing the details, how the layout of everything, and just kind of getting everything set up. So he was with him for a long time, kind of just like going through all these details. I think is crazy to me. How many people would just love to do that? I would. Like I said earlier, do you have a favorite song? Do you have a favorite band out of these, or a band that's not on the list? I want to hear about that and look them up, because often like these are the ones that broke into the US. Try to find a band around the same time that did incredible, but maybe they didn't have such a large influence or impact on the US markets, and maybe I haven't even heard of them. And then lastly, what was the best concert you have ever gone to? Who was it? When was it? Where was it? Whatever details you give. Paint a picture if you want of what it was like, because that's when I really kind of, it's kind of like a time machine for me. I could really put myself in that situation as much as I can, as well as looking at pictures and videos of that certain event. So I'd like to know that. So this video is a little long, but thank you for staying to the end if you made it. I'll do more of these because I really liked this and other, cultural things of, British. Thanks for listening and enjoying, and we'll dive more into these next video coming up. So thanks for watching and have a good musical rest of your day. Good musical. Let's listen to some music.